Yo, what's up YouTube, what's up Facebook, what's up world? So I'm starting a new video series on my YouTube channel. My YouTube's filled with videos. There's tons of videos about cars, about politics, about religion, about just all different kinds of topics. But you know, movie reviews. I used to do tons of movie reviews. You know, and I hope and I pray that if anyone's cursing my YouTube, that God stops them from doing that, and I hope that my YouTube channel grows, because I really believe it's filled with positive information. Just like some people choose to, you know, fix people's cars, other people choose to be teachers, other people choose to be soldiers. You know, we all have different paths in life, and I feel like one of my purposes is information, is speaking, and not necessarily teaching, because I think God is the one teacher, and that's that. But just like on Google, if you want to know something, you search it and the information's there. So I guess it would be more of an information supplier, you know. But I'm gonna start a new video series, and it's gonna be pretty freaking good, I hope. And it's gonna be called Wait What? And basically what it is, if you didn't get the gist of it from that, it's gonna be and if you want to add a video to this, or you know, submit a video or use the tag and make it more popular, by all means do that, because the more sharing and fun that we have with this, the better it will be. So while I'm cleaning my center console, I'm gonna start with the very official Wait What video. Now, the idea of the Wait What series is basically when you get those moments in life, whether they're with inanimate objects, physical, you know, whether it would whether they involve other humans or not. It's just those moments where it's so far off and so insane and silly and, you know, stupid or dishonest or fake or whatever, that all you can do is laugh and be loving and be kind, and remember, hold the line, to quote Toto. Excuse me while I belch, I apologize. To quote Toto, when all you can do is hold the line and remember that love isn't always on time. And I don't know what Toto exactly means when they wrote that song, but what it means to me is basically like, hold the line. Like, if you get in a situation that's confusing or difficult for you, or you know, just doesn't make, it's just out there, hold the line, because love isn't always on time. And what that means, like I said, I don't know if they intended it, but what that means to me is like, if you're in a battle, hold the line, because you have to be patient, you have to be loving, and love isn't always on time. So it's like, you're not always going to have the perfect thing to say. You're not always going to know exactly what to say or what to do or anything like that. And there's a hot girl jogging right now, and I don't know if she's going to run by me. Nope, but she is freaking beautiful. And what it means to me is like, you have to be patient. You have to wait on God. You have to, in that, be loving. Like, you might not always have the perfect comeback or the perfect response, but if you be loving and be patient, God will deliver you and God will protect you. So today's story, the first one of the series is something that happened a couple. So I want to make a little side money, right? So I'm on Craigslist. And some guy has an ad posted for flyer distribution. And I'm like, okay, well, how hard can that be? You grab a bunch of flyers and you pass them out, right? So he says that he pays minimum wage, and which is not good. It's like $10 in Nevada right now, which I love Nevada, I love California. but minimum wage is not a livable wage, and it's honestly pretty insulting that you would be slave around for an hour to make $10. It's nothing compared to what rent would be or anything like that. And that's one thing that is kind of a problem in this country, which I hope to fix someday. Well, at least for my, I want to, I don't know about that, because sometimes if you do stuff like get too into fixing problems, it doesn't always end well. But anyways, so I go to this guy's pizza shop, who's a scammer, I later find out, who doesn't pay people, and he goes, okay, well, we pay under the table. And right off the bat, I knew that was wrong. I knew that was illegal. I knew that was dishonest. But I chose to continue anyways. And you could look at it either way. You could look at it like who's the government to say that we have to that they have a right to take our wages, and who's the government to say that we can't pay under the table? So it depends on how you look at it. But at the end of the day, which is kind of why I chose to do the flyers anyways, excuse me. But at the end of the day, if what made him a scammer was he told me he was going to give me gas money that day. He's like, I'll give you gas money today, because I had to drive to the different hotels in Vegas to pass out these flyers. And then he's like, okay. And then so we passed out flyers for 4.5 hours. And then later, he said, I'll pay you on Tuesday. So this was Friday, so I come back on Tuesday, and he gives me $30 for 4.5 hours of work, which is less than minimum wage. And I hit him up, and he ignored me, and blah, blah, blah. So he's a scammer. So not only is he scamming the U.S. government where he lives, and he's an immigrant too, which makes me even more mad, he also scammed the people that are working for him. So I have no respect for this guy or any of his, because his employees were very rude too in the same way. So anyways, but that's not the point of the first Wait What video. The point of the video is, so he tells me, he's like, okay, so this other guy named Matt, my name's Matthew, he's going to help you. He's going to show you how it's done. He's going to take you to the different motels and train you today. I mean, there's not much training to be done for passing out flyers, but he was going to show me the ropes, show me, because apparently the hotel management is not really even that fond of people passing out flyers in their hotel, which makes sense because it takes business from their restaurants. It's kind of harassment to their customers, etc., etc. So me and this guy, who's this middle-aged guy, not middle-aged, he's an older guy, he's probably like 50 something, but he's very strange, and he talks really weird, and you can tell that he probably has been using methamphetamine most of his life, or a large portion of his life. I've been around I've done a lot of drugs in my life. I was never into meth, and I've also been around a lot of drug users most of my life. I don't judge people based on what drug they use. I don't judge people if they use meth. I don't hate. But if someone has a drug habit and they allow that drug habit to put them into a toxic position towards other human beings, then I have a problem with that person because of their drug habit. And unfortunately for methamphetamine users, it's pretty rare to come across a methamphetamine user who doesn't let the drug take over their mind, make them evil, and start doing evil towards other people. Like me, alcohol has done that in certain cases where I get so drunk that I'm hurtful or rude in ways that I don't want to be. And that would be a good example of that same scenario, is the alcohol affects my judgment and affects my life, and then I do things that I don't want to do. For methamphetamine users, it's usually like stealing or violence or whatever, but it's silly. So this guy's clearly like a meth user, right? And we're driving around and we're kicking off, and we're kicking it off. It's a good time. Everyone's getting along at first, and everyone's getting along at first, and And then towards the, and what I notice is when we're in these hotels, passing out flyers door to door, just sticking them under every motel door. And you got to remember, we're in Las Vegas, so these are casinos, these are hotels, motels. It's not just like we're pulling up to some Holiday Inn in the city and going in there. This is like the whole city. That whole part of the city is motels and hotels and casinos and et cetera, et cetera. So and what I learned from him is, as soon as he sees room service, he turns around and runs, which apparently is what you have to do in this job, which is part of the reason why I didn't keep the job. I don't want to do a job where I'm breaking rules and I have to be dishonest and evil and trespass in order to get paid and complete my work. And so what happened, so I'm like, yeah, I want to end early. I just want to go get my $20 or my $30. This is like 1 or 2 hours into it, not 4.5, when he owed me $45 at that point by his spoken word. And he, you know, I'm like, and I'm getting tired of like ducking and dodging room service. So eventually I just, you know, start acknowledging the room service. I start smiling and saying hello, and they don't have a problem. I even saw one of the managers. The manager smiled at me, and she didn't say like get out, but you can kind of feel the tension that it's like you guys aren't really supposed to be trespassing, handing out flyers, and then it just makes it like it's just that way. So I got a terrible headache today, sorry. So we get further into it, and I'll wrap up how the story ends really quick. This guy flips out and gets all weird, and he gets grouchy and tired and starts to tell me where I should drive and how I should drop him off and how the boss doesn't have to pay me. It happens with meth users. As soon as they get into a situation where they don't have what they want, their brains freak out, and they freak out and get all angry and they get all abusive and yelling and aggro and passive aggressive and slamming and setting and doing all this weird stuff, and it's insane. And it's called like meth rage or something like that. And but the point of the story of this video is the wait what, because it's hilarious. So at one point in this that's weird. At one point in this in this evening, in the video got a little too serious. The point of these wait what videos are supposed to be lighthearted and funny, like just those stupid silly moments in life. So we're sitting in my car. This is before we have our argument, before we have our debacle, and we're talking about knives, and we're talking about food and restaurants and life, just taking a break from passing out flyers because I'm the one who's driving, and out of nowhere, I'm like, oh, you have an iPhone SE, huh? Or it could, for all I know, it could have been an iPhone 6 or 7. But if you're aware of iPhones, the iPhone SE and SE2 and SE3 are basically the hardware from a newer cell phone put into the body and the screen of an older iPhone. And what that does is basically take the horsepower from a brand new motor and put it into a lighter car. So what that means is that you're taking the power of a new iPhone and putting it into a less demanding unit. So this older unit in theory runs super fast and strong and good because it's got more power than it needs, but with the newer iPhone, it's got a nicer screen, it's got a nicer camera, it's got a nicer sensor, it's got all these nicer stuff. So it uses that newer motor, that newer engine more heavily. It's like if you have a 5,000 pound truck with a 300 horsepower engine, you're gonna go that fast. If you take that 300 horsepower engine and put it in a Honda Civic, you're gonna go faster than that truck because your Honda Civic, your iPhone 6, 7 weighs less than the iPhone 12. Not physically weight, but the drag of the hardware from the display and the camera and all those other hardware and input, you know, software, etc. Anyways, hopefully you understand that. So I see that he has an SE, and I don't see SEs most people have 12, 13, 14 iPhones. But I have an SE2 and I love my SE2. I have an SE2 also. I have an iPhone SE2 that is filming right now, and I love the thing. I love my iPhone S2. I pray to God it never goes out to date. I love it. It's one of my favorite moves that Apple's made. Anyways, so I see that he has an iPhone SE, and I'm like, oh hey man, that's cool. You have an iPhone SE. And for those of you who know, the one place that the iPhone SE is not better, it doesn't have a better screen resolution, it doesn't have a better camera, and it usually doesn't have as fast as data speeds. So it's basically like the newer iPhones, they look better, the screen's nicer, the camera's nicer, it usually has more features like for instance, if it was a fingerprint sensor or augmented reality, 3D, that type of stuff. That's what the new iPhones have. Whereas the iPhone SE series is like an old iPhone with a new motor. It's the old features with the new power, so it runs 10 times better. And I'm like, oh cool, you have an iPhone SE also? And he's like, yeah. But for the record, again, iPhone SEs, unless there's some magical miracle out there, they do not have better cameras than the iPhone 12, 13, and 14 have. Like, that's like their main selling point, is like these brand new miraculous cameras. And excuse me. And I'm pretty sure. So anyways, so I see his iPhone SE2 or SE or whatever. I'm like, oh cool, you have an iPhone SE, cool. And I'm like, and he's like, yeah. He's like, I would never spend that much money on a new iPhone with something that I might lose. And I don't care enough about it to where if I lose it, I just want the cheaper version. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's not really the reason why I have one, but whatever. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, and as far as I know, the iPhone SE has the best camera too. And I was just like, I just got quiet. And I'm like, and then here's the point of the video. Wait, what? Did this guy just really say that the iPhone SE has the best camera out of all the iPhones? So I wasn't going to argue with him, and I wasn't going to try to enlighten him. And for all I know, he was telling a bold lie to, maybe someone told him that lie. Maybe someone told him that lie. I think that's probably what happened. So whatever the case, that was definitely a wait what moment. And then later on in the night, it only got more exciting when he threw a temper because I wouldn't drive him across town 2 different times to go from one pizza shop to the next. So that's the first wait what video, is when you have some meth head come get in your car and tell you that the iPhone SE2 has the best camera out right now. Wait, what?